Hello, friends. So I've been telling y'all for months now that 3i Atlas is coming, that it's going to have gigantic ramifications for humanity and for Earth life, but it is not a freaking alien mothership like Avi Loeb and those nut jobs are trying to convince us that it is. It's much more important than that. Okay, and now we have a new player, the Swan Comet, that's coming in from the other side, and things are about to get really spicy. Let me explain to you my take on the situation. So I use human design and I study sidereal astrology, not the newer, flawed Western tropical astrology, but true sidereal astrology. And when you study human design, you learn about the neutrino and the importance of the neutrino stream, and that the neutrinos, which come from our sun, are what carry the information and the data that render our reality, and that the sun is like a portal between the non-physical and the physical worlds, and the information comes from the non-physical side or the spirit world into our physical reality through the sun and through the neutrino stream. The neutrinos are the carrier wave. Now, if you study real astrology, you realize that the placement of all the planets and the stars and the moons and everything in our solar system acts like a cosmic clock. And at any particular time, you can take a stamp of that and you can decode that data, and it will tell you all sorts of things about you as an individual, about trends on Earth, and about different things. It's kind of like, I don't know, getting a snapshot of reality at that one point in time. And it's based on the configuration of all the celestial bodies. And we know how the neutrinos, when they pass through our solar system, they pick up different flavors and they pick up information and data from planets and moons and things like that. And that's why your natal chart, based on real astrology, can tell you all sorts of amazing things about you as a person that no one else can tell you. And it will blow your mind. It's because we know how the placement of all these objects affects the neutrino stream and it affects our DNA. What we don't know is when a interstellar object comes in, like 3i Atlas, which is the size of a city, all of a sudden injects itself into our neutrino data stream. How does that affect things? We don't know that. But the last two times this happened, we call 3i Atlas 3i because it's the third interstellar object that we've tracked. The first one was Oumuamua. We can call that 1i. Right after that happened, that's when the New York Times pieces dropped. That's when disclosure started. That's when the average person started realizing that aliens were real and were being visited and all the stuff that happened after that. After that, a couple years later, in 2019, we had 2i, Borisov, another interstellar comet that came through. And directly after that is when COVID happened, okay? So these interstellar objects tend to start cultural, societal revolutions or significant changes because they inject new data, new information, new flavors, new personalities, new everything into our data stream. And we can't predict it because they don't come from our solar system. We have mapped out for thousands of years. That's what astrology does, especially things like true sidereal, Babylonian sidereal, Vedic astrology. They have mapped these things out for thousands of years, and they know exactly how the planets and the moons and the stars and their different archetypes affect us. But we don't know how 3i Atlas is going to. And on top of that, we have a new one called Swan that just came out of nowhere, just detected it last month, or actually this month, and it already had its perihelion around the sun. But 3i Atlas is going to have its perihelion, its closest to the sun is going to be October 30th, day before Halloween. That also coincides with the solar maximum, which is this like period where the sun should be at its maximum intensity. Sunspots, solar activity, solar flares, that kind of stuff should be higher. And sometimes that's related to like a weakening of the magnetic field. And there's people that are hypothesizing that that's going to lead to some sort of a consciousness awakening on that day, October 30th. I don't know about that, but what I do know is that at the same time the sun is reaching its solar maximum, 3i Atlas is reaching its closest point to the sun. And when it does this, it sheds debris and materials called outgassing. The comet starts to heat up and the ice underneath the surface starts to outgas and it starts to shed off its material. Well, this material isn't from our solar system. It's from somewhere else. We have no idea where this thing came from. They think it came from the galactic center, the black hole region at the middle of our Milky Way. And it's bringing that information into our solar system. It's going to get really close to the sun on October 30th. It's going to release a lot of that information out into our solar system as it outgasses and as it starts to essentially melt as it gets closer to the sun. And the neutrinos come out of the sun. The sun is like a Wi-Fi router that sends out the information to the rest of the solar system. And those neutrinos are what hit us. You have over 1 trillion neutrinos hitting your body, passing through your body every second of every day, over 1 trillion. If you could see neutrinos, it would be all you saw. You would be blinded by the light. So these neutrinos are like pixels that render our reality. They come from the sun, they carry information and data, and they are filtered and flavored by the celestial objects and things that they pass through. Now they're going to be passing through 3I Atlas as it gets close to the sun and starts outgassing and shedding all of its interstellar material on October 30th. So, as I predicted a few months ago, I was public about it. A lot of people are calling me an idiot because they're saying, no, 3I Atlas is a alien mothership and it's coming to invade us and yada yada. And then my response, of course, is aliens are already here, dumbass. They don't need to invade us. They've been here since before us. Anywho, different video. But I've been very adamant that 3I Atlas is going to bring significant cultural change and maybe even consciousness change. And a lot of different factors are coming together at the same time that might even be accelerating that. For example, we have Swan, that is another comet that's coming in from the other side, and it's already had its perihelion around the sun, but around the same time, about a week before 3I Atlas is at its perihelion with the sun, Swan is going to be at the closest point to Earth. And it's going to be bringing different information. We don't know where Swan came from. It's going to be bringing different information. It's almost like we have two competing, sources of new info. Is it good and evil? I don't know. I don't know where these things came from. I don't know what the information is yet. But that's how these things work. They're seeds. They're bringing in information. They're planting seeds. And we have two of them coming in at the same time. They're going to be crossing paths. They're far away from each other, but like from our point of view, from Earth, looking out at them, they're going to sort of cross paths, and the neutrino stream is going to go through them, be filtered by them, and then bring that data to Earth. Neutrinos pass through you, almost like you're not there. They call them ghost particles. And they're going to pass through you, trillions and trillions and trillions of them on that day, infusing you with new information from these interstellar objects. Well, we know 3I Atlas is interstellar. We don't really know where Swan came from, but they're bringing foreign, alien information. How's it going to affect us? I don't know. If we look at history, we had major societal changes after the first two interstellar objects, after Borisov and after Oumuamua. So who knows what this one's going to do? This one seems to be more significant than the other ones, and there seems to be converging factors that is going to put some fuel on the fire. So anyways, I think the end of October is going to be interesting. Like reality is not super freaking interesting anyways, but I see a shift coming, my friends. So bookmark this video. Tell me what you think about this video, and let's talk at the beginning of November and see what the hell happened between now and then. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Peace.